All right, hello guys. Welcome to the Stove. This is episode number 7, and I'm Jacob, and you are.
I'm David.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about multiple different things. We'll start out with the biggest sports news right now, which is the NBA playoffs that are going on. A lot of things happened yesterday. Each game was interesting. The Celtics swept the Nets. The Raptors are surprisingly making the series with the 76ers a close one, and the Mavericks absolutely demolished the Jazz.
Yeah.
And look like they're in pretty good control of the series now.
Yeah,
so
Doc Rivers, the Raptors and Sixers series doesn't really surprise me because Doc Rivers is their head coach, and he's blown so many 3-win leads, and I wouldn't be surprised if he blew this one.
Yeah. Let's start out with the Celtics and the Nets because I think this is by far the most surprising series of the so far of the playoffs. And it'll probably be probably one of the most surprising series in recent memories. The Celtics swept the Nets. They also had the second smallest margin of a sweep. So the margin was only like plus 21 through 4 games. So the margin was really small. And the Celtics, no game was more than 10 points that was decided, even though Boston kind of felt like they were in control of all 3 of the last games. I would say game 4.
Yeah.
The Nets made it really close at the end, but it was never really like in jeopardy of like losing.
Mm-hmm.
But Jason Tatum had 29. Jason Tatum's defensive job on Kevin Durant's been unbelievable. I think Jason Tatum's proved himself as maybe the best two-way wing in basketball in terms of defense and offense because he's a top probably 3 defensive wing player while also being a top at least 8 offensive wing player as well.
He's definitely made a case for it since he's basically other than last night, he's basically shut down Kevin Durant, which is really, really hard to do.
Yeah. And Kevin Durant, even though he did have a good game, he was 13 for 31, 3 for 11 from the 3. So I mean it's not like he was just being the efficient Kevin Durant that everybody knows him to be, where he scores 50 points on 20 shots. It's not like he was doing that. But to me, I don't really want to talk quite as much about this series, but I think the bigger question is where the Nets season went wrong. Because we knew Boston was good, and we knew Boston had gelled. And since the All-Star break, they're 24-4. They have the number 1 defensive efficiency rating all year and the number 1 defensive efficiency rating since the All-Star break and the number 1 offensive efficiency rate since the All-Star break. But the Nets have 2 most likely Hall of Famers in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You have Blake Griffin, who's going to make an argument to be a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he will, but
I don't think so.
He had some good years. LaMarcus Aldridge could be definitely a Hall of Famer, I think. I don't know. I would let everybody in the Hall of Fame. It was up to me.
Yes, we know.
But I feel bad for people. But the Nets, to me, where do you think the blame goes for the Nets in terms of where their season went wrong?
Steve Nash. That's all I have to say. Steve Nash is a terrible head coach. He was a great player, but he is a terrible head coach. He cost them this series. If they had a halfway competent head coach, they would have won. Would have won at least 1 game. I know that. And I had picked them to win 7 games against the Celtics, which was completely wrong on so many levels.
I picked Boston to win in 7, so I wasn't any closer.
But still, at least you picked Boston to win. But still, like Steve Nash should be fired immediately. Like he should have been GM. He should have been fired 30 minutes after the game. He should be gone out of Brooklyn. He is a terrible head coach. He has Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant on the same team and could not win 1 playoff game this year.
And underrated bench. I mean, everybody talks about how bad the Nets role players are and how bad they are.
They're not even that bad.
I disagree. I think Bruce Brown and Goran Dragic and Claxton is a tough player. Now, free throw shooting, that is not his forte.
He breaks Shaq's record in the playoffs for missing the most.
Going 1 for 11. He missed 8 in a row.
I know. He missed 10 in a row.
That's right. Shaq's record was 8, wasn't it?
No. Wait, was it?
I think he missed 9 in a row.
Yeah.
And then he ended up going 1 for 11. But the Nets, I mean, they don't have bad role players. No. To me, it's not Steve Nash's fault. And this is the same thing that everybody says, oh, it was delay. It was Frank Vogel's fault in LA. It's not Frank Vogel's fault in LA that everything went wrong. It's, first of all, it's the GM's fault because it's always LeBron's fault.
Shout out to Skip Bayless.
And they got Russell Westbrook, which was not a good job. If I was Kevin Durant 30 minutes after that, I'd go up to the front office and say, trade Kyrie Irving right now because he does not need to be on this team anymore. Kyrie Irving decided not to get vaccinated. I'm not an advocate for mandating vaccines, but this is basketball and it's different. And there are consequences of him not doing that.
Yeah.
He had an option to do that. You know, it's one thing if you're, you know, it's one thing when you're getting paid $30 million to play, and then you decide you're not going to play because of a reason, for some reason.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving was fasting, which that's fine. I mean, it's religion. I'm not gonna, you know, do bad things on his religion, but that had to make it more difficult. And Kyrie Irving is just weird. He's a weird person. He has weird philosophies.
He thinks the earth is flat.
I don't know if he actually thinks that, but the fact that he even says that is just so odd. He's an odd person. You cannot count on him to show up to work when you're paying him. Kyrie Irving deserves $50 million in terms of just talent and how good he is. He is a box office player. He will bring people into the stands. He will make you money, but I would never offer Kyrie Irving more than a one-year deal. No. And that's what Stephen A. Smith has said too.
I agree with
what he
that.
said. Because Kyrie Irving, you can't trust him to show up to work. You know Kevin Durant is going to show up for at least 72, 75 games every single year.
Exactly.
And he's going to be efficient, and he's going to try to win. He's going to do everything he can to win. As you saw last night, he was trying to win the game. They're down 3-0. I don't think Kyrie Irving cared. I don't think Kyrie Irving wanted to go back to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Kyrie wanted to go back to Boston. Mm-hmm. Kyrie Irving, if I was the Nets, I would trade Kyrie Irving right now because to me, at least 50%.
He's kind of a cancer.
At least 50% of the blame falls on Kyrie Irving. Actually, Steve Nash, if you ask me, I've thought about it a little bit more. I think Steve Nash has done not terrible with the people that he has. I mean, he has Kyrie Irving, who is toxic. Kyrie Irving doesn't even think they need a coach. Him and Kevin Durant don't even think they need a coach. So Steve Nash feels like he's not even wanted there. And Kyrie Irving, after in the press conference last night, I don't know if you heard this because I watched the press conference after the game. Mm-hmm. He said, when asked about an extension, he said, yeah, I do want to resign. I don't see myself moving. Coming from a Boston fan, do not trust that because his mind could change. It may have changed 5 minutes after he left. He may want to go somewhere else now. You don't even know. So Kyrie Irving saying that and then saying, me and Kevin want to build this team. Well, you've had 3 years to build the team. You brought in James Harden. It didn't work. Then you brought in Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge. You've gotten swept in the first round. You got knocked out of the playoffs last year by the Bucks in 7 games, even though I would argue the Nets are more talented than the Bucks are when they had James Harden on the team. You got knocked out in seven, and it looked like Kevin Durant was the only one who wanted to play because he scored 49, 17, and 10. 49, 17, and 10 in Game 5. That is his best performance he's ever had in a game. Game 7, he comes back and drops 48. He was doing everything he could to win the game. Kyrie Irving was hurt, and James Harden was a liability on the offensive end in that series. So,
he always is in the playoffs.
Steve Nash did everything he could in this series to try to get them a win, I think.
No, I don't.
He put in Blake Griffin at the end. Now, you can argue that Blake Griffin should have been put in at the beginning of the series. That's fine.
He should have been playing the entire series. He should have been playing every single game.
But, what else could Steve Nash have done? What was
better
Steve
halftime
Nash
adjustments, better end of game adjustments, better plays other than just, hey, Kyrie, take the ball and score. Hey, KD, take the ball and score. He should have done a lot better plays.
But he can't make Kyrie come to work every single day.
No,
that's nothing he can't do.
But he can make better plays and draw up some better plays and make better halftime adjustments and better end of game adjustments and better timeout calls.
But if
better
Kyrie
substitutions.
But if your two best players don't even want you to draw up plays and don't even think they need a coach, then how is that his fault?
You're the coach.
But your two best players and
it doesn't matter. He's the head
one
coach.
of the top players in the world. The other guy doesn't even They don't even watch you there. So you think Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are listening to him in the halftime huddle? No.
The head coach is a Hall of Famer. And he's
a Hall of Fame player, not a Hall of Fame coach.
No, he's not, but he is still the head coach, so he should have taken charge.
I don't think Steve Nash should have ever gotten the job. But
I don't either,
and he's going to get better. I think Steve Nash will get better as time goes on.
Yeah.
But I think it's Kyrie's fault. Kyrie did not show up. He didn't want to be there. He didn't think they needed a coach. He decided that he wasn't going to get vaccinated. Then he decided that he wasn't. Then he decided, he started fasting, so it was harder for him physically to play better. And he didn't even think they needed a coach. And you could tell in his attitude on the court that he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to play Boston in the first round. He just didn't want to play. And
I'm not leaving Kyrie completely blameless, but I'm saying
you think majority of the blame should go to Steve
I think
Nash?
The majority of it should go to Steve Nash, but definitely some should go to Kyrie.
So you think Frank Vogel should get majority of the blame in LA? Because this is the same sort of situation.
Well, not really, because LeBron kind of built that team.
And Kevin Durant built this team, and Kyrie Irving, they built this team. They both decided to come to Brooklyn and build this team. This is the team that they built. They did the same thing LeBron did.
Well, again, I'm not
Vogel,
leaving Frank Vogel completely blameless either. I don't think he coached very well this season at all. But at the same time, LeBron built that team from the ground up. I don't think Kevin Durant and Kyrie built that team from the ground up like LeBron did. Yeah. And plus, LeBron brought in Russell Westbrook, who completely just face-planted this year.
And Durant brought in Kyrie. So, and even
Kyrie Irving's a better player than Russell Westbrook.
He is, but at least Russell Westbrook's going to show up and give you effort.
Yeah, and 20 turnovers.
But Russell Westbrook's going to show up for 75 games and give you everything he's got. And Russell Westbrook's going to be better the next year. There's no way. He's too talented of a player to be that bad again. But to me, it's the same kind of situation because Kevin Durant and Kyrie built this team. That's what Kyrie said in the press conference last night. He said, me and Kevin have got to figure out how to build this team. Okay. He built this team, but he did. It doesn't matter if he shouldn't. Him and Kevin Durant built this team. This is the team they wanted. They wanted Blake Griffin. They wanted James Harden. Then they wanted Ben Simmons.
James Harden's not even there anymore.
Then they wanted Ben Simmons. And we see how that worked out. You know what Ben Simmons reminds me of?
Ben Simmons. I don't even want to get started on Ben Simmons. He is a clown.
You know what Perk said this morning?
What?
I love Perk, by the way. But he said, I love Perk.
What did he say?
He said that he said Ben Simmons is like that pretty girl at school that you wonder why she isn't single because she smokes cigarettes.
Oh, God.
That's a pretty good analogy.
It is.
Because he has the raw talent. He has the physique. He has the body. He has the raw passing ability.
Does not have the shooting ability.
No, but he is really talented. But he doesn't work on it.
No, he don't.
All these other players, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Brandon Ingram, all these players have gotten exponentially better as the years have gone on because they put in the work to get better.
Exactly.
Ben Simmons hasn't put in the work to get better.
He's in the same form he was in his rookie year.
Yeah, he doesn't get better. Free throws is something that you should be getting better at over your career.
Exactly.
It's something that you should be at least 75% from the free throw line. If you're an all-star, you should be 75%. Yeah. If you're a facilitator on the floor, you should be 75%. And that's my argument against LeBron. LeBron's got to be better than 67% from the free throw line. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. All right. Yeah. Raptors and Sixers. This one's interesting.
Yeah, it is. The Sixers are. If I was the Sixers right now, I'd be crapping my pants because Doc Rivers is known to blow leads, big leads at that, and this is not looking too good for the Sixers because if I'm not mistaken, Joel Embiid is a little bit hurt right now with a hand injury. Mm-hmm. He's not really at full 100%. Siakam is playing amazing. Anunoby is playing pretty good, and obviously they have the Rookie of the Year, Scotty Barnes. They win 2 in a row. It's not looking good for the Sixers so far.
I think the Sixers will be fine.
I think they will too, but you got to admit they have to be pretty scared right now.
I don't know about that. I mean, if you lose a game 6, then you should be scared because then it's just But the Raptors still have to win 2 in a row, and one
Yeah.
of them's in Philadelphia.
Yeah, but Game 6 is in Toronto, though.
It is, but Philadelphia's already proven that they can win in Toronto one time. So I don't think it's time to press the panic button for Philadelphia net. Yeah, if you get to Game 6, if you lose Game 6, to me, if Philadelphia loses Game 6, I think Toronto's going to win the Game 7 because at that point, Toronto, you got to be insanely mentally strong to lose 3 in a row and have all the pressures on Philadelphia in a Game 7 because no team has ever come back from 3-0.
No.
Toronto is not as good as them, even though I would argue Toronto may be a little better coached than Philadelphia is, even though I like Doc Rivers.
I do too.
I think Doc Rivers is a very good coach.
But I think Nick Nurse is a little bit better of a coach.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's really close. Doc Rivers has more of a history, but we'll see. Nick Nurse is tough to tell. But if Toronto wins Game 6, then Game 7 is going to be concerning for Philadelphia because Embiid still has a hand injury. And James Harden is just not the James Harden from Houston anymore.
No, he's not.
I wouldn't call him a liability, but he is just not the player that he used to be. And Tyrese Maxey is just not a takeover player yet. Tobias Harris is not a takeover player. They don't have any other takeover player besides Embiid. They don't have a perimeter takeover player. And in a Game 7, it could be a problem for Philadelphia. So Philadelphia needs to win Game 6. If you don't win Game 6, then it's getting concerning.
It's on.
Because then it's anybody for this one.
And if you're the Celtics, you gotta want to play the Raptors. You hope that they win that series.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think Boston will beat either one at this point. But
if Embiid comes back healthy, I think it'll be difficult for them. But we'll save that for another day.
Yeah. But
all right, now moving on to the Jazz and the Mavericks, and the Mavericks absolutely crap on the Jazz with
nice Donovan with 9.
Yeah, Donovan. What is wrong with Donovan Mitchell? I feel like he's not even playing that good in the series.
Is that Jordan
Their leading scorer was Jordan Clarkson, who comes off the bench, and don't get me wrong, he's a really, really good bench player. And their second leading scorer was Rudy Gobert. I'm sorry, but Rudy Gobert is an elite defender, but he is not known for his offense at all. And Donovan Mitchell, as he just mentioned, was 0 for 7 from three-point land. Yeah, just not a great performance for the Jazz. Only scoring 77 points in today's NBA. That's a crime.
And 4 turnovers. But, did you see the one thing where Luka tried to dunk on Hassan Whiteside and they got into an art scuffle over it?
I don't think so.
Like, Luka tried to, cock back and, jam it on him or something, and he got pissed.
I didn't see that.
He didn't make it, but
Luka had a very, very good game. Well, not from three-point land, but he had a very good game. He shot 50% from the field, but only 30% from three. He had 33 points. Jalen Brunson continues to play really, really well, scoring 24.
Yeah.
They played a really good game, especially defensively.
Mm-hmm. So tonight's games are – all right, so we'll give our predictions for tonight's games. Hawks and Heat.
The Heat.
You got Heat?
I think the Heat will win this series today.
This series is so hard. Or this game is so hard because Jimmy Butler's not playing. Kyle Lowry's not playing.
Yeah. And
what Trae Young are we going to get tonight? Are we going to get the 30-point Trae Young or are we going to get the 5-point Trae Young? That's what's going to decide this.
I'm thinking of somewhere in the middle, like 15-point Trae Young.
Then the Heat.
Exactly.
I'm going to take the Heat, though. Timberwolves and Grizzlies.
Come on. Timberwolves, come on, one time.
I'm going to take the Grizzlies. I don't think the Grizzlies are going to lose another one at home. And I think Ja will have a bounce-back performance. Ja's too talented to play that bad in all the games against the Grizzlies. I think tonight's the night where he scores at least 30. So I'm going to take the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies are going to go up 3-2.
It's so hard to judge this series because if Karl Anthony Towns actually shoots the damn ball.
I don't trust him to shoot either.
I don't trust him either, but
he'll float on the perimeter.
Yeah, I know. He needs to drive the ball inside more. He needs to work the post. He's good at it if he does it, and he's good if he actually shoots the ball. But I don't know if he's actually going to shoot the ball. So
I will say this: I think whoever wins this game tonight is going to be the team that wins the series.
Yes, if the Timberwolves win tonight and they can go into Game 6 and play in the Target Center, I think that gives us a very good chance to win Game 6 and win the series.
And I don't think Minnesota wants to go to a Game 7 in Memphis because I think I would favor Memphis in a Game 7.
Yeah, I probably would too, just because they're just so deep on the bench. They have Desmond Bain, who we cannot stop. Desmond Bain. I get he's a good player and all, but please defend Desmond Bain. God. And yeah, it pains me to say this, but I do think the Grizzlies will win this game. But I think it'll be a really, really close game. I really do think it'll be close.
I actually think this will be one of the more blowout games. I think Memphis could win by 20 plus.
Really? They've already done that once, and I don't see that happening again.
I think it will. Memphis has not played well in this series, and it's odd because I feel like Minnesota has kind of played at their ceiling all series long, and Memphis has not. Memphis has not played at their ceiling all series long. So
yes,
I feel
they have.
Memphis?
Yes, they have.
I don't think
they won by like 29 points.
Yeah, but Memphis hadn't played at their ceiling the entire series. Jaws barely scored 20.
No, was it game 2? I think it was game 2. They won by 25 plus points.
Well, I'm not talking about one game. I'm talking about the whole series. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Memphis plays at their ceiling tonight.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. But
if Memphis plays at their ceiling and Minnesota plays at their ceiling, Memphis is the better team because they're deeper and because they have the best player on the floor, I think, in John Morant. I think John Morant is the best player on the floor.
Yeah,
when he plays well.
Yeah, when he doesn't play well, that's not good for the Grizzlies.
And certainly not Cat. So I mean, not Cat. You can't shoot.
If he plays at his full potential, he is the second best player on the floor.
The problem is he doesn't.
I know
he doesn't.
He did.
He floats around the 3-point line.
He played at his ceiling in Game 4, and
that's what he needs to do for games 5, 6, and if there's a 7.
Exactly. And if Anthony Edwards can play good again, like he did in Game 1, if D'Angelo Russell scores more than 9 points, the Timberwolves have a very good chance to win this series. But this game scares me tonight because
you get to deal with Golden State. So.
Yeah, I don't see us winning that series at all.
Because Steph will probably start.
Yeah.
But anyway. Pelicans and Suns.
I have the Suns.
You can take the Suns?
Yeah,
take the Suns.
Yeah, they're in Phoenix. As long as Scott Foster's not refereeing this game.
I'm going to take Phoenix no matter who's refereeing the game. Look at Joey Crawford. Joey Crawford is the worst NBA official of all time. One time he there was, I can't remember who it was. He came up to him and just shoved them, like Joey Crawford, the referee, ran into him and shoved him. He called a foul on someone.
What the hell?
You should look up bad Joey Crawford calls. It's terrible.
I never heard of that.
It's awful. But anyway, I'm going to take the Suns.
Yeah, me too.
This is another situation where I think whoever wins this game wins the series.
Yeah. That would be so weird if the Pelicans won this series because honestly, I never even gave them any thought to winning the series. I thought that they would probably get swept, maybe win one game, but
I think JaVale McGee, who has played really, really well in this series, has got to have another good game, and he's got to neutralize Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah,
he can't let him go for 26 again. Even though JaVale McGee's not a bad defender, so he's got to play better than that.
Yeah, but we both have the Suns for that one.
Yeah, so we all agree on all 3 of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
unless
we got all the home team.
There's just a couple factors. If Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards play to their best of abilities, I think the Timberwolves will win, but I just don't know if they can match Desmond Bain, and all those guys. And if Trae Young, I can't stand that guy. If Trae Young can score 30-plus points, the Hawks might win. If Brandon Ingram scores 40 again, the Pelicans might win. But
if Valanciunas scores 20,
yeah, exactly. How does that happen?
JaVale.
But I think I could have the Heat, Grizzlies, and Suns winning.
Yeah. All right.
Let's get to Jacob's top 25 NBA players list. This is going to be very, very controversial, as he's already mentioned to me.
Yeah.
And he's already gave me a sneak peek into one of the rankings.
Yeah, so
And just brace
you can
yourselves.
feel free to chime in at any time during it. You ain't gotta
Okay,
wait till
you
the
know I
end.
will.
Just interrupt me at any time.
You know I will.
Number 25, let's start, and I'll explain each one. And if there's one, then why I got one over the other, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I got Klay Thompson at 25. A big reason Klay Thompson is so low is the injury. I have not seen Klay Thompson play a full season yet. I need to see Klay Thompson play a full season at the 45% three-point shooter, the 50% from the field, the 85% free throw shooter, and the 23-24. That's what I need to see. I need to see him a full season at the highest potential. And Klay Thompson is the best playoff performer on the Warriors. Klay Thompson is a better playoff performer to me in the NBA Finals than Steph Curry is. Klay Thompson has had bigger games in the NBA Finals than Steph Curry has had. So Klay Thompson's at 25. That's because I think I need to see a full season of him being healthy and being able to play at a high level before I put him any higher. Because if he's healthy, he's top 20.
I disagree. I think he's easily top 20. I'm not saying he's top 15, but I'm definitely saying he's going to be top 20. But I don't agree with that at all. I'm sorry.
All right. Number 24, I got Cat. And a reason he's so low is I don't like how he floats. I don't think he's a good defender. And I just don't love Cat's game as a big man always because I think he's so good inside, and I think he has the potential to be so good inside. And to me, he has just as much talent as Joel Embiid does, but Joel Embiid plays smarter than Karl Anthony Towns does.
Yeah, and he has a lot
difference.
more, and he has a lot more emotional intelligence. He knows when to complain about a call and not.
Nobody on the Timberwolves knows how to control emotions.
No, they don't, as referenced by the
player.
What?
I didn't seem to affect him somehow, but
not really.
Series. 23 is Chris Middleton. I'm one of the biggest Chris Middleton fans you will find. You know that.
No.
I love Chris Middleton.
Yes, I do. But
I love Chris Middleton.
Karl Anthony Towns
scored 40
should be
plus.
No.
Karl
Anthony Towns should be way above Chris Middleton. I'm sorry.
Chris Middleton plays a lot smarter than Karl Anthony Towns does. He has
a
higher basketball
He is not
IQ.
a better player.
Without Chris Middleton, the Bucks would not have won the NBA Finals last year.
No, I agree with that.
Chris Middleton was the reason that the Bucks beat the Nets in Game 7 last year in the semifinals. He had a big shot from the short corner to knock off Kevin Durant and the Nets when they were at risk of losing that game and losing Game 7 to Kevin Durant and the Nets. Chris Middleton had a 40-point game in the NBA Finals one time. Cat has yet to do that yet. As a matter of fact, Cat hasn't even made
Anthony
the first
Edwards
round yet.
Anthony Edwards scored 36 in a playoff game. Is it better than Karl Anthony Towns?
No, he's not, because he's been in the league 1 year.
Okay.
You got to prove it before you can make it into Jacob's top 25. This is an honor to be in my list.
I'm sorry, but no. I
Number
disagree with
22
that. Karl Anthony Towns should be above Chris Middleton.
Number 22 is Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown, I think this is actually, you could argue a little low. I think Jaylen Brown is a top 10 perimeter defender in the NBA. Jaylen Brown is a 23, 24 point per game scorer. Jaylen Brown has a clutch gene. Jaylen Brown has knocked down clutch shots. Jaylen Brown is one of the best finishers at the rim in the NBA with the right hand, who's over 6'6" or 6'5". Jaylen Brown can really shoot. Jaylen Brown has improved his free throw shooting. Jaylen Brown has improved his handle. And Jaylen Brown is just an amazing defender and just an elite defender. And to me, and he's going to be an all-defensive player for years to come. So Jaylen Brown's at number 22. He averaged 23 a game this year. And he had 5 game winners of this year.
So far, I think Klay Thompson is better than all these players that you've mentioned.
No.
Yes.
But you're probably going to think that about this one too. Number 20 is Bradley Beal. I'm also a big Bradley Beal fan. Bradley Beal could have been the NBA scoring champion multiple years. It feels like going into the All-Star break every year. He's always leading the NBA in scoring. Something happens in the later part of the years. Bradley Beal is an elite shooter. Bradley Beal is an elite driver. And Bradley Beal is the only good player on the Washington Wizards at this point. But Bradley Beal is really, really good. And Bradley Beal has improved dramatically, exponentially since 2016. He's a little small, which is your own problem. But anyway, let's go.
I would put Bradley Beal a little bit lower, but again, I would have Klay Thompson above him. But just
So you're not
barely.
fighting this one that much.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not going to die on a hill for this one, but I would put Klay Thompson a smidge above him.
I skipped one. Number 21 is Anthony Davis. And I still think Anthony Davis is number 21. I don't think you can drop Anthony Davis out of the top 25 yet because Anthony Davis is still a really, really good defender.
Yes.
Anthony Davis, I think, is going to get better. I think he's going to have a better year next year. I don't know if he's ever going to be the 25, 26 points per game scorer that he once was, but he is still really, really good.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that one.
All right. Number 19 is James Harden. Now, I still believe that James Harden, first of all, is still a really good facilitator. He can really pass the ball. He's got a gift of passing the ball. I think James Harden right now, I think he's going to play better next year. I don't think he's in a good system right now. I don't think Doc Rivers is a good coach for him. I don't think Steve Nash was a good D'Antoni's a good coach for him. I'd say Mike D'Antoni. And I think Mike D'Antoni. What?
It's about the only one so far.
I think Steve Kerr will be a good coach for him, but there's no room for him Golden State. But anyway.
Watch him get him now.
Yeah, well.
That would suck.
Number 18 is Chris Paul. As you know, I'm not a Chris Paul fan. I think Chris Paul is one of the most overrated players in NBA history.
It might be a little high.
You think that's high?
I think it is.
I mean, you still got to respect the elite passing ability from him. But he had 4 points the other night in a game that was rare, that is really important. He has gotten exponentially. But keep in mind, this is right now. This is right now in the NBA. If you would have told me 10 years ago, to me, Chris Paul was a top 10 player. 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But now he's number 18. Okay. Number 17 is Paul George. Stop hating on Paul George. He's still a good player. He's an elite defender on the perimeter. He's a really good free throw shooter. He can really drive the ball, and he can shoot the ball. Paul George is top.
Might be a little low for me.
You think so?
I think so. I think he's still a top 15 player. Like if I was to put Paul George somewhere exactly on a list, I'd probably put him at like 14.
So not too much higher.
No, not too much, but maybe a little low.
All right. We go to number 16. That's Damian Lillard.
Oh, really?
Damian Lillard is undersized.
That's kind of low.
Damian Lillard, okay, but when you listen to the other players above him, I think they're all better than him. So
okay, well,
Damian Lillard,
I'll just wait and see.
Damian Lillard is undersized. He's 5'11".
He's 5'11"?
Yeah. Damian Lillard is overrated.
He's not.
Yeah, he is. He hit 2 game winners. He's not that clutch of a player. Everybody thinks, he's so clutch. He's made 2 game winners.
He hasn't really had many opportunities to be clutch.
Portland has had a good team for multiple years, and that was because Terry Stotts was their coach. And Terry Stotts is an incredible coach, and he should have a job still. But anyway.
Well, the Portland Trailblazers are just a dumpster fire organization.
Well, they are now. One thing I will give Damian Lillard, and one thing I very valuably respect about Damian Lillard, he's one of the most loyal stars in the league.
Yes.
Because if I played for Portland, I would have been gone 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I would have not have stayed there. So he is a loyal player. All right. Number 15 is DeMar DeRozan. You got to move him up a little bit because of the year that he has had. He's had an MVP caliber year. He did not play well the other night, but he did score 41 in the other game. I think DeMar DeRozan has proven that he is an elite player. Chicago's got to get him help, though, because he has no help. And Lonzo's got to stay healthy. And Zach LaVine has to stay healthy because Chicago's got a really nice team over there right now. Mm-hmm. So they got to keep those players and they got to keep them healthy. Agree?
DeMar DeRozan at 14 right now?
I got it 15.
At 15. I thought she said 14.
No, 15.
Okay, well.
15.
Well, 15 for DeMar DeRozan, I would agree with that, yeah. Okay. But I have Paul George just ahead of him.
Okay. 14, I got Ja. Ja averaged 28 points a game this season. Ja is an excellent passer. Ja is one of the best point guards at finishing at the rim in the league. Ja has got to work on his jump shot, but Ja is an elite passer, and Ja is an insanely talented player. So I got Ja at 14 because he's averaging 28 a game.
I won't argue with that. I mean, I just said I'd have Paul George at 14, but I can't argue with that.
13, I made this list before his 9 points last night, but this is Donovan Mitchell at 13. I made this before his 9 points. When Donovan Mitchell plays well, I think Donovan Mitchell's at 13 because I think Donovan Mitchell's really, really good. He is so good at finishing at the rim. He's a really good shooter. He's really good in the mid range, and he can guard. I think Donovan Mitchell's top at number 13.
Yeah, I can't argue with that one either.
Number 12, Jimmy Buckets.
Jimmy Butler at 12?
Jimmy Butler at 12.
No.
You think he's lower than that?
Yes, I think he is way lower than that. I would not even put him in my top 20.
Really?
Yes. I think he's still top 25, but I would not put him in my top 15.
I like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has, I think, found himself a great home in Miami.
I think he has too, and I think he's a great player, but I think that's way too high. He can't shoot.
He is an elite defender, absolutely elite defender, arguably the best perimeter defender in the NBA.
Yeah.
Arguably. He is an elite mid-range shooter. He is a good finisher at the rim.
Yeah.
He's got to work on his three-point shot.
Yeah.
But I think, and he's got a clutch gene. He can take over a game at the end of a game. We saw the finals game against LeBron when he just took over the finals game and scored like 40-some points and just willed Miami to a win. So I think Jimmy Butler's at 12. Jimmy Butler's underrated.
Maybe the reason why I said he might be lower was because of
Minnesota
the trauma he gave us Minnesota fans. But him and Thibodeau, get out of here.
He didn't want to be there to start with.
That's true.
All right.
God, who would not want to be in Minnesota? I'm just saying, it's never cold up there.
Number 11 is Kyrie. Now, Kyrie, talent-wise, is top 8, top 5.
Yeah.
Talent-wise, he is. But the biggest knock on Kyrie is he doesn't play.
That's true.
He's had 2 seasons in his whole career where he's played more than 70 games. He does not play. He's not showed the work. I don't think basketball is as important as it should be to him at this point in his life. I think it's 4th or 5th. Kyrie is someone who is really good at the game, but I don't think he always enjoys playing the game. So
that's true.
I don't think he's got his ring. So I got Kyrie at 11. I can't put Kyrie in the top 10, even though Kyrie is a top 10 talent and is a top 1 or 2 or 3 point guard in the league. When he actually plays and plays like he did in Cleveland and like he did in Boston. But since he's gone to Brooklyn, he has just not been the same player since he was in Boston and Cleveland.
I mean, I want to argue with it, but I can't. Because, again, of all the points you mentioned, I can't argue with it.
I mean, Kyrie is elite at everything. There's nothing that he is not good at.
When he wants to be.
When he wants to defend, he can defend on the perimeter.
Yes,
when he wants to.
He really can.
The NBA Finals in Game 7, he locked Steph Curry up in the 4th quarter. Steph Curry was 1 for 6 from the field and 1 for 5 from 3 in the 4th quarter. He locked Steph Curry up in the 4th quarter. He hit one of the clutchest shots in the history of the NBA.
One of the toughest shots.
Yeah, step back, launch 3.
Fade away
over Steph Curry, who is Steph Curry's not a bad perimeter defender either.
No, he's not.
And he's got probably the best handles of all time, an elite ball handler, one of the best finishers at the rim that I have ever seen for a 6'2" guard. I mean, it is unbelievable the stuff that he does around the rim. He is insane in the mid-range. Some of the step-back threes that he makes are crazy. He's a 90% free throw shooter, a 40% three-point shooter, a 50% field goal percentage shooter. He was part of the 50-40-90 club last year. He always won a three-point contest. He is a multiple-time All-Star. He won a title. I mean, he's so talented, but you can't put him in the top 10 because he doesn't play. It's unfortunate.
He's an incredible player, but it's just
he's top 5 if he plays 82 games.
Yeah.
To me, he's top 5.
I can agree with that.
And he's 1A to 1B to Steph Curry in terms of best point guards in the league if he plays. Then, yeah, Steph Curry's in the top 10. That's a sneak, but
well, I would hope so.
20. Number 10 is Devin Booker. I like Devin Booker. He gets hurt a lot. Yeah. But Devin Booker's really good.
Yeah.
But Devin Booker's a scorer. He's got to get better
scorer.
at facilitating. He's got to get better at guarding. And he's a pure scorer. So that's why I don't have him higher than 10 at this point. Any argument?
I don't know if he's
top 10 though right now.
I don't know if he's quite top 10 yet. I think he's got to get better as a defender. He's got to get better as a passer. But as a scorer, he's definitely I would say he's probably might even be a top 5 scorer right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I just don't know if he's top 10 yet. I would definitely say he's top 15, but I would not put him in the top 10 yet.
All right, number 9 is Kawhi, because when Kawhi is healthy,
this guy is so frustrating. I get he's probably a good guy, but
in top 5 when he's healthy and plays, but you can't put him
I know
in the top 8, top 5 if when he doesn't play.
It's so hard to judge, but I'll let you continue.
I mean, I take it back when I say Butler's the best perimeter defender. Kawhi is the best perimeter defender in the NBA. Kawhi can guard 1 through 4, or 1 through 3 at least. Kawhi can score. Kawhi won a finals. He was a finals MVP.
Twice.
Yeah, he was 2-time finals MVP.
Yeah, one with the Spurs and then one with the Raptors.
He's won 2 titles. He has basically led the Raptors to a title.
Yep.
I mean, the dude is just, when he's healthy and plays, he's so good. Number 8 is Jason Tatum. I don't put Jason Tatum in the top 5 yet, but Jason Tatum is a top 8 player. Jason Tatum is better than Devin Booker. Jason Tatum is better than Kawhi Leonard right now. Jason Tatum is better than Kyrie. He's better than Jimmy Butler. He's better than Donovan Mitchell. He's better than all of them. Jason Tatum is a top 5 perimeter defender. Jason Tatum is a 28-point-per-game scorer. He's had 3 50-point games this season. He is an elite three-point shooter, an elite finisher at the rim. He is long. He is 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan. He has guarded Kevin Durant the best I've ever seen anybody guard Kevin Durant. Jason Tatum is a top 8 player and is going to be a top 5 player at one point in this league.
I can't agree with that, but I would hesitate putting him in the top 8 right now. I mean, I think that's a little bit of recency bias, but
no.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what he's done throughout the entirety of the last 3 years. He scored 50 in a playoff game last year, too. I mean,
he had a couple of games in the series where he didn't really play that good. He didn't really score that much in a couple of games.
He scored 20-plus every game.
I thought he only scored 16 in one game.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure he did. But, again, I can't argue with the defense. I can't argue with the defense. Like, guarding Kevin Durant that well is incredible. I mean, I'm not going to die over a hill with this one, so I won't argue with it.
All right, number 7 is Luka. Luka has got to get better in shape to me before I can put him in the top 5. He's got to get more in shape. He's got to stop
Zion.
He's got to stop being so streaky in shooting. He's a great player. He's a great passer, great facilitator, good scorer, but
good finisher.
He's got to lose weight, and he's got to be able to get in shape. So he's number 7.
I won't argue with that one.
All right, number 6 is Jokic. Jokic is a great scorer. Jokic is the best passing big man in the league.
One of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, and maybe the best just pure passer in the league, possibly. Top 5 just passer, and he's 7 feet tall. So
yeah, exactly.
Jokic is 6. Number 5 is LeBron. I can't take LeBron out of the top 5 yet, but LeBron has had injury problems over the last 2 or 3 years. LeBron is not finishing around the rim as well. He did not make free throws. He's not shooting the ball well, but he is still the best passer in basketball because LeBron is one of the best passers I've ever seen. And
He's
one
great.
of the best drivers I've ever seen either. So LeBron to me is still number 5.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that one. I can't argue with it. I mean, again, it's just the free throw ability, like that comes with age, I guess.
He's always been bad at him.
Well, that's true, but I think him getting injured a lot recently is again a product with age. Not being able to score or shoot as well as he used to be able to, again, is a product with age. But I mean, I'm not going to argue with it. I think he's still a top 5 player.
All right, number 4 is Steph Curry. Steph Curry has also had some injury problems, but Steph Curry, like Kyrie, is really, really good at everything. Mm-hmm. Steph Curry can shoot. Steph Curry is underrated at finishing at the rim. He's actually a really good finisher. And he may have the second best handles in the league behind Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is a really good handle, the best free throw shooter of all time, the best three-point shooter of all time. And to me, Steph Curry has got to get better in the clutch. Steph Curry has got to get mentally tougher in the clutch. And Steph Curry you cannot win. This is the problem. Steph Curry needs to win a Finals MVP. He is not going to be a top 10 player in my mind of all time if he does not win a Finals MVP. Iguodala won the Finals MVP in 2015. He could have taken that one. 2016, when they lost in 7, even if they would have won, Draymond was going to be the Finals MVP. So that were Klay Thompson. So it wasn't going to be him. And then Kevin Durant won the next 2. So this is his year. If Golden State wins, there's no excuse for Steph Curry not to be the Finals MVP. There's no excuse. It's going to be between 4 players for Finals MVP. Steph, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, or Draymond. Those are going to be the 4.
I highly doubt it would be Draymond.
I don't know. I mean, if he guards well enough, it could be.
But I don't know. It's just him not being able to score at all.
But Steph needs to win a Finals MVP, I think, because you can't be a unanimous MVP, a Finals MVP, and a 3-time champion, but not have one single Finals MVP. That's just not a good look. To me, that's just not a good look. When you're a unanimous MVP, a 2-time MVP, and a 3-time champion, you haven't even won a Finals MVP.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's tough. I do think he needs to win one, but I think when it's all said and done, I think he will be considered a top 10 player because he is just that good. He is incredible. So I'm not going to dispute it. I think that's good ranking.
Number 3, I got Joel Embiid. Embiid is really, really good. Excellent strength at the rim.
Yeah.
He can shoot. He can shoot free throws, which bothers me so much when big guys can't shoot free throws. He can finish at the rim. He's a great defender inside. To me, Embiid is number 3.
Yeah, I would put him and
And I think
Jokic.
didn't he win the scoring title this year?
I don't remember.
I think he won the scoring title
Really?
too. Yeah,
I thought LeBron did.
I think he won the scoring title. He's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it's going to be between him and Jokic. But I would put him and Jokic a little bit closer together. Maybe, but I mean, yeah, I'm not going to dispute that one.
All right.
But when it gets to the top 10, there's not really much difference.
I think everybody's going to agree on my top 5 probably.
Yeah, maybe like a couple different ranking shifts, but yeah, I'm not. So far, no disagreements.
Yeah, Durant's number 2. Durant is still
incredible.
Stop it with he's not a top 5 player.
Yeah,
come on. He's had 1 series and he had 39 last night.
Exactly.
I mean,
he played his heart out.
He's a 7-footer with a 7'6" wingspan that can pull up from 30. I mean,
he's incredible.
He's a 90% 3-point shooter. He is a marksman from the
90% free throw shooter.
Yeah, free throw shooter.
If he was a
90-point shooter, okay. Yeah,
that would be the greatest player of all time.
Oh, yeah. 90% free throw shooter, a 40% 3-point shooter, one of the best mid-range shooters I have ever seen.
Yes.
He can finish at the rim. He can pass. He can dribble. He's got a handle. I mean, the dude is he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
One of the most efficient scorers I've ever seen. To me, a top 5 scorer of all time. One of the best scorers I've ever seen. Kevin Durant's number 2.
Yes. No disagreements.
And then number 1 is Giannis.
Yes.
Because Giannis at this point.
Incredible.
Giannis last year, I was pretty critical of Giannis before last year. Giannis had 50 in Game 6 last year. He had 2 40-plus point games in the finals last year.
He's shown that he can be clutch.
He has gotten better at free throw shooting. He has gotten better at 3-point shooting.
Yes.
He can drive it. He is physical. He can guard. He had one of the craziest blocks I've ever seen on DeAndre Ayton last year in the finals. I mean, the dude can do everything. He's 6'11". He's got a long wingspan. He can guard. He can finish at the rim. And that's the problem for Boston in the second round is Giannis will embrace the physicality. Durant didn't embrace it. Giannis will embrace the physicality. So Giannis is almost impossible to guard. One of the most unguardable players in the league just because he's so quick. He can spin off of you so fast. He can finish with both hands. He can really shoot at the free throw line now all of a sudden, even though it takes him 20 seconds to shoot it.
But, yeah, no, that gets frustrating to watch.
But he's getting better at shooting from 3, so now you have to get up and guard him.
Yeah.
So before, when you could just sit in the paint and just let him shoot, you can't do that anymore.
That's
now you got to
scary.
get up and guard him, and you got to let him come back, and then you got to guard him from the perimeter all the way to the basket. Yeah. It's really tough to do.
That is scary. I couldn't imagine having to guard Giannis at all. Like that would be. He might be the toughest player to guard other than maybe Kevin Durant right now in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an incredible player. No disagreements there.
Yeah. And I think Giannis is going to be the best player for the next foreseeable future,
Yes.
possibly the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Giannis is going to be around a long time. And Giannis, another loyal superstar. Now, Milwaukee is one, but still, loyal superstar.
Can't stand Wisconsin sports, but anyway.
Giannis.
Take it away.
All right, Jay Wright. So there's been rumors going around now that Jay Wright might end up going to the NBA.
To the Lakers, question mark?
Yeah,
after they
really.
fire Frank Vogel?
This is another Urban Meyer situation.
This should not happen.
No, it shouldn't.
It would just ruin his legacy.
I think Urban Meyer's legacy has been almost ruined at this point.
Yeah.
It's so terrible because Urban Meyer is such a good college coach, but awful in the NFL. Just awful.
He might be the worst NFL coach of all
He
time.
might be. He only coached for
11 games.
11 games. But
He won one game. I don't know how he won one game, but
That's true. But
that's bad.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
to me,
He was
before you get an
all
NBA
time.
job, you need to be an assistant coach in the NBA before you
Yeah.
get an NBA job because the NBA is different from college.
Yeah, way different.
The
Just like it
scheme-
is in college football and in the NFL.
The schemes are different. It's tough to out scheme a team in the NBA. You can out scheme people in college.
Yes.
You can't do that in the NBA.
Nope.
Because these players are too good. They can just ISO on your scheme and beat you. I mean, you can't out scheme a team. You can't play like Virginia and only score 70 points and hold teams to 60 and win titles. You can't do that in the NBA. If you
Nope.
can't score, you're not going to win.
If you can't score 115 points every day, you're not going to win much.
Yeah. And if you play like Carolina and don't guard anybody and just try to outscore everybody, you're not going to win that way either.
Nope.
So in the NBA, you have to be able to do both. Brooklyn can't win. And I don't think Miami's going to win either because Miami just guards and Miami doesn't score that great. So I think that Miami's not going to win either. But
That's the thing that really gives the Celtics a really good chance this year is because they're so good at defense and they can score really, 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 really well.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to flatter you at all. That's just an objective view.
you are. But
No.
but
Hey,
that Milwaukee Boston series is going to be so good.
it is.
Watch us get swept now.
I
We
doubt
sweep
it.
Brooklyn and then we get swept.
I highly
What if we
doubt it.
sweep the Bucks?
I don't see that happening, especially with Giannis on that team. And if
See
they
it happening with Durant on the other team either, but
well, no, but again, Kyrie,
Yeah.
took
Chris
it
Middleton's
down
more dedicated than Kyrie.
Yes.
And Drew Holiday is too. But
very much.
anyway,
And plus, now they have Drew Holiday instead of Eric Bledsoe.
God, I remember him and Terry Rozier going at
Oh,
it. Remember,
Lord.
you remember when Terry Rozier wore a Drew Bledsoe jersey to he wore a Drew Bledsoe jersey to try to troll Eric Bledsoe at some kind of game or something. I don't even know.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Scary Terry.
Oh God,
I love Terry Rozier.
he's a good bench player.
Yeah. He starts now for the Hornets, I think.
Really.
I think he starts some. But Jay Wright shouldn't go to the NBA. If he does, he needs to be an assistant coach first because as you see with Steve Nash, it just doesn't work when you're just go straight into it. Jason Kidd started out coaching the Bucks. He was an assistant coach for a few years, and now he's become a really good coach in Dallas. So being an assistant coach matters. It gives you experience in the NBA. You can't out-scheme people in the NBA. You
No, you
have to
can't.
have the players. So much harder to coach in the NBA than in college. You have to deal with egos in the NBA. You have to be able to deal with salaries in the NBA. You have to deal with players who don't want to be there. You have to deal with all sorts of things in the NBA that you don't have to deal with in college. Because in college, most of them want to be there. Most of them want to win.
Yeah.
Once you get to the
You play
NBA,
hard in college.
once you're in the NBA, you're getting paid no matter what.
Yeah. You're getting paid a
And-
lot too.
So
They don't really have the motivation as those college guys.
these guys have been pretty much, when you're in the NBA, they've most likely been the best player on the court their entire life.
Mhm.
Until they probably got into college or the NBA. They've been the best player on the court every time they've the court. These guys got huge egos.
Yep.
So you got to be able to, when you're the coach in the NBA, you got to be able to hold down egos. I don't think Jay Wright can do that.
No.
I don't think Jay Wright is good at doing that. I don't think players from Villanova have big egos. I don't think Colin Gillespie is known for having a huge ego.
I don't think so either.
I mean, I just don't think that's the case. Look at all the players from Villanova in the NBA. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, these guys don't have huge egos.
Mm-mm.
So I mean, I don't think Jay Wright's gonna be Jay Wright. Be an assistant first. Don't ruin your legacy. You're too good of a coach. You're a Hall of Famer. Don't ruin your legacy by going to the NBA, and don't go to the Lakers. You don't want to deal with LeBron or Russell Westbrook.
No, you
Russell
don't.
Westbrook.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Jay Wright, do not go to the NBA, please, for all of our sakes. All right. You have any final takes?
I don't think so. Do you?
Yeah, I do. Timberwolves win. Please. Do it for us. Do it for Minnesota fans. Please do it. That's all I have. Oh, one thing for Thursday's episode. We're going to wait, are we doing an episode this Thursday?
Well, I'm leaving tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
It's probably not.
So if I have any final takes, Minnesota Vikings, do not screw up the draft. The draft comes up this
What
weekend.
pick do y'all have?
We have the number 12 overall pick in the first round, and it's looking right now that we might trade down, which I think would probably be smart because we should get as many picks for next year as possible so we can trade up to get a quarterback. But we'll recap the draft and all that good stuff next week. Thank you for listening, and this has been the 7th episode of The Stove. We'll see you next week.